we call it one-step therapy. So what is that? Well, it's one magic word. Well, what's that? Just say Hugh. And here's a demo. You inhale and
Do you ever find yourself stuck in that rut or blindsided by stress, anxiety, or sleepless night? Well, today's guests, Dr. Reverend Nicole Sebastian and Reverend Michael Sebastian, have a simple one-step therapy answer for you. But before we get into it, let me remind you, if you are a pet owner, please be responsible and have your pets spayed or neutered.
Welcome to Amazing People, Amazing Things with your host, Chuck Tuck.
and here's a demo. You inhale and Hugh. On the exhale. The cool thing, Chuck, you can do it out loud or silent, eyes open or closed. In other words, it's the most user-friendly tool probably on the planet. It's that quick, effective, and you can do it while you're doing the dishes or while you're sitting in a business meeting. So,
It's so simple, yet I know that so many people are embarrassed to say or do that, and I would think that that's one of the first roadblocks, right? Is that embarrassment? It's like even to do it at home on your own, people are embarrassed. Okay, well, before we really get into the science of Hue and how it works, why would you think? Why is it that people are embarrassed?
It's really interesting because we work with a lot of people, from people who have mental health problems and depression, anxiety, nightmares, suicidal ideation, all the way to we've worked with professional sports people. For example, here's a story, and they really think it's too silly or that it's embarrassing to go Hugh. And I was, working with a professional basketball player on the Lakers, actually famous star, came back to get his MBA at night. I was working for a college as a counselor and professor, and I was assigned to help him, and they kept him off the rolls. He was so well known. And when I walked in, I said, "So, what's stopping you from getting your MBA? I mean, what do you see as?" And he said, "Mike, I can't even believe I'm here." He said, "I play full time. I got endorsements. I got a family." He said, "I'm freaked out, but it's been a dream of mine, a secret dream to come back." I said, "Okay." I said, "I got something for you that'll get rid of the anxiety and the fear." And he goes, "Okay, great." And so I shared the Hue. And I said, whenever you're feeling anxious, fearful, you can't do it, just Hue for a few seconds, and it'll change that fear or anxiety into one of harmony. You'll feel balanced together.
What? No way. Oh, stick around. You'll find out that it works.
And he bust out laughing and said, "Are you kidding me? You want me to hum? And oh my God, I've got all these problems. You've got me humming." And I said, "Hey, don't knock it till you try it, bro." He said, "Hey, fair enough." Month passes, and we got to meet again. Got to see how he's doing in the MBA. So when I walked in, just to tease him, I said, "Have you been hewing?" Before he could even speak. "Have you been hewing?" He said, "I'm hewing, my family's hewing," and he said, "The coach has started hewing." And I said, "You're kidding me." He said, "No, and I'll tell you why. Because it works." It took my game to another level in terms of the focus. And the coach said, "What are you doing differently?" And I shared he said, "I'll hew too." So they're all hewing now. And to answer your question, that's a good question. All we ask people is to try it. Just try it. And like Nick said, you can even do it silently, or you can do a whispering Hue, like, or Hue. And there's a lot of ways to do it, but once people try it, they go, "Oh my God." And because it's experiential and it kicks in right away. And it's not like, a lot of people say, "Oh, it's like the Om," right? Because I do Om all the time. Om. No, it's not like the Om. And it's totally different. It's at a much higher, finer vibration than the Om. And it works immediately and effectively. When I got back from Vietnam, I had severe PTSD. I mean, nightmares, suicidal ideation every day, depression, and I was on my way to the Veterans Administration to see a doc and get some meds and all that. And before I got there, I found the hue. And I started hewing, trying the hue. And within a very short period of time, all those dramatic symptoms that I was experiencing started lessening. And after that, they completely went away without any doc, no meds, no therapy. And it was the hue. And that's when I knew we had really found one magic word. We'd found the secret word. And that's what that's what we do now. We share that with people. That's our total mission.
You mentioned ohm, and you can actually, at least for me, you can feel the difference of the vibration where it's coming from the ohm versus a hue. It's more, like I said, a bit higher, a different frequency, a higher frequency. You're pushing out that air, and it feels like to me that it is higher and a higher resonance, if that makes any sense to people. But
Yeah. No, yeah.
it's so. Is there really science behind this? Is there?
Oh,
I mean,
There's more science than
there
God.
is so much.
wait a sec. They're gonna be calling on us like they did to the Beatles when John Lennon said something like that.
Oh, Chuck, we're gonna start with the word God. The word hue comes from the word human. The word human, and it actually means God man. God within man. If you go to the Oxford English Dictionary, which is several hundred years old, pull up hue, or human rather, then you'll see human, hue, God within man. So that's where its power originates, truly. And then, in all of our research, we found it in 14 different religions and their sacred book. So this is our hue book, and I'm going to read from here in just a minute. There's a list of the 14 religions alphabetically that I'm going to share with you, because it's just crazy that the hue is everywhere, yet no one knows about it. It goes back 5,000 years to Egypt. They used to hue at the Sphinx from dusk until dawn as a society to raise the vibrations of the place. Yeah.
And that the Sphinx itself was not called Sphinx originally. That's the Greeks changed it when they came in and conquered the area. They didn't know what it was. What's that? Well, let's call it Sphinx, which means unknown. But the Egyptians named the Sphinx Hu. That was the original name, Hu, Hu, which is an ancient sacred name for God. And it's interesting, even in the, like you can open the Bible to John 1:1, and it says, in the beginning was the Word was with God, Word was God. And I went to a Jesuit high school 4 years with the Jesuits, private school, and I always used to ask them, I'd say, hey, Father, what is that word? In the beginning was the Word that created everything, the known universe. And they didn't know. And it started me on a trek, like somebody's got to know what that word is. Well, that word that created everything is hue. So that's why it's so powerful. If it has the vibratory power to do that, think about what it can do for us when we put ourselves in alignment, or as you mentioned, the frequency of the hue. It changes everything, and it changes it instantly from the inside out. It works. Go ahead, Nick.
Yeah. Here's the list, Chuck. So we found it in the 14 different religions. Okay. Buddhism, Christianity, Celtics, the Druids, Freemasons or Masons, Gnosticism, Islam, Judaism, the Kabbalah, the Sikhs, the Sufis, Zoroastrianism, and modern day Ekankar, the spiritual path of freedom known as Ekankar. And they all use the hue, and it's in their sacred books. Yes.
So interesting, like you said, that it is so powerful, so simple. No problem doing the technique, but so few people know about it. I mean, everybody knows, maybe through the movies and stuff, but so few people that I know of have ever heard hue.
Yeah. And we're here to change that.
It It was prominent.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was prominent for many, many years. As you can imagine, the whole Egyptian society's hewing, and it's been around forever, but it got basically kind of stuffed under the rug because just from a controlling people and the power. Well, if people have that kind of power, like what do they need the experts for? What do they need the government for? They don't.
Yeah.
And so it's always been kept hidden because it allows us to step into our full potential of really who we are and the powers that we all have. And it's kind of like that. And that's, when we did our research, and you mentioned science, and the easiest way I've ever explained it in terms of the science is through quantum physics, simple quantum physics. And of course, you'll laugh. There is no simple quantum physics. It's like, what? What is quantum physics? I've been studying it for over 20 years, and just to make it simple, quantum states everything is a vibration at a quantum level. Everything. That's all there is vibration. So the couch is a vibration, the cat is a vibration, the lamp is a vibration. Although it looks solid, it's an illusion. If you could see it at the quantum level, the building block, it's simply a vibration, and they're all at different frequencies. As individuals are at different frequencies, we all have a quantum signature. You vibrate slightly different than I do or that Nicole does. We all have a quantum signature. That's what's going on, the vibratory dance. And when we hew, literally, we are changing the frequency. It's like having your remote for your TV. I want to go from channel 28 to channel 56. Click, I change, and it's a different show. It's a total different reality. Well, that's what happens when we hew. We shift the frequency. Say I'm sitting here and I'm kind of depressed, maybe anxious about what's coming tomorrow, and I'm at a 2 on a scale of 1 to 10. When I hew, within seconds, I've shifted that vibration up to a 8 or a 9 on the scale. I feel balanced, harmonious, joyful. Where'd the depression go? I changed the channel. That's what it does vibrationally. That's why it's so fast and effective and extremely powerful frequency that created the whole universe. So we have that at our disposal now.
I'm going to add this, throw this in there, because people are probably going to think, well, what do you mean vibration and things aren't solid and all that? If you're a comic book fan, you know what the Flash can do. The Flash finds that frequency and vibration and vibrates really fast, and that's why the Flash is able to move through solid objects, but they aren't solid. Like I said, at that atomic or subatomic level, wherever, whatever it might be, things are bouncing around so fast that they look solid, but they aren't. So that's for the comic book fans out there that are going, wait a second, I don't get this stuff.
I love it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fabulous.
Very good.
Yeah, thank you
Yeah.
so much.
Yeah.
You know,
I just really want to let folks know that they can go to your website too, and they could go to nevergetblindsidedagain.com, and it's going to talk about a lot of this stuff, because this is really fascinating information that you have.
Yeah, and the cool thing, and this might even help with some of the listeners. Like when you meet somebody, right? You pick up on their vibe. Some people have a great vibe. Some people have a not great vibe, right? And that's what they're picking up on. Literally, is their quantum signature, their vibratory rate. So, okay, we've got our cells, and then you've got your central nervous system and your cells. Cells comprised of atoms, and your atoms are comprised of subatomic particles. And everything vibrates at a certain rate and frequency, and that's known as a quantum signature, just like you have a signature, right? Your handwriting signature. So, as Michael mentioned about our quantum signatures, and they vary a little bit, that's how, when birds of a feather flock together, right? Okay, people of a certain vibration harmonize. And when we don't, there's someone else that doesn't quite fit in the group. It's because they have a different vibe, literally. And same with relationships and hooking up with a mate. They say that opposites attract. No, they don't. They attract for about 5 minutes, and then the truth is revealed. Then the disharmony is what's really going on, that you notice how, he wants a steak dinner and I want pizza, and, I want to go to Italy and you want to go to Hawaii, and different, our quantum signature is shown in these variables, in this manner, likes and dislikes and whatnot. So, in even choosing a mate, it's important to look at the vibe of the thing, and it really speaks to longevity of a relationship. If you've got similar vibes, you're going to have some longevity, and if not,
It's like Nicole and I met in a dream. I mean, our tools really that we're sharing with the hue when unlocks a part of ourselves. And what part is that? Dream, science, and intuition. I mean, I can do data all day long, do my homework, talk to the experts, and I have. And it's interesting. A survey years ago I was doing as a sociologist, talking to the top CEOs, like, how do you make the final decision when everything's on the table, your whole company, all the money and everything? Every single one of them said, Mike, I have teams that do the homework and the data, but when everything is on the table, the final decision, gut feeling, I go with my intuition. If it doesn't feel right, I don't go with it. If it feels right, I go with it. And, one of them said, please don't mention that to my board. They'll think I'm crazy. But that's what they were using, and that's what made them successful. And that's what we're sharing with the hue. When we hue, it unlocks our dreams, signs, and intuition as a system, and fine-tunes it and turns up the volume so we can hear that intuition. And like I said, Nick and I had a dream of meeting her 3 years before I actually met her for the first time physically. I was teaching at a college in Texas, sociology. I had a dream, and it was real clear, and it was Nicole with same girl, brown eyes, blonde hair, and I journaled the dream. Fast forward 3 years, who walks into my sociology class? Nicole, the dream girl. 3 years later, I was getting a snapshot of, hey, Mike, your life's going to change, take 180 degree and go a different way with a new mission. And that's why we really go down the road of wanting to share the hue with people, because it turns on that system that allows them to be all that they can be.
Chuck, it really Star Wars and the Jedi Knights. It activates your Jedi Knight powers, is what it does. Your superpowers, all with just that one word, but it's because we're changing the vibe of the thing. And then, we started the nonprofit just in April, the Divine Guidance Institute and Wellness Center, 501c3 nonprofit, because of two main crises. There's a mental health crisis definitely going on, and there's a blindsided crisis. And the hue really addresses both. The hue with the mental health, Michael used the hue for the PTSD from Vietnam. No meds or docs, but the hue helped with all those PTSD symptoms from war. Like, that's how powerful that tool is. And as a psychologist, I've been sharing it with clients for 2 decades now in terms of a tool for their anxiety or their grief or their anger or addiction, etc., etc. What we do, we say, don't change anything. Add the hue. Add the hue to your current protocol, whatever it is, and then you'll witness changes, and that there's not such a fight. Like right now, maybe someone has depression, maybe they're on meds, maybe not, but every day it feels like a fight. Like, oh, can I get through another day? When they add the hue, the fight goes away, Chuck. It's the most amazing thing. Even like cigarettes. Oh, I want to quit. And I've been addicted to everything, I'll tell you that. You add the hue and the fight goes away. It turns into just more of an easy breezy thing.
It's, the fight takes the flight. It just gets out of there. But I also like the part that you said, this is a tool to add to your toolbox. And like you're saying, don't replace things, add this to it. The other thing too that I really caught on what you're saying is that whether somebody thinks that this works or believes that it works or not, we all have at some point in time in our lives said exactly what we said about somebody. I don't like their vibe, or man, my gut is telling me. And like I said, that's all part of this, the vibration, the hue, and setting that vibration right. That's what I'm guessing.
Yeah, yeah, setting it right, tuning it, like on the the radio, the old we used to have tuners on a radio to set the channel, and Michael actually talks about that to tune into a higher frequency, a better channel, get rid of the static, what have you, and remember in the old days you used to do a on your car, you'd change the spark plugs, you'd give the car a tune up. The spark plugs and all this, which they don't, now it's very different, but the hue is like giving yourself a tune up. There you go. So things run smoothly, smooth. And you can do it out loud or silent, eyes open or closed. So again, it's hue. And the 4 ways, Michael mentioned 3 of them. Whispering hue is like, it sounds like the wind. Out loud,
Okay.
hue. Silent, you just think it. Or spelling, you can spell it. H-U. So there's 4 different ways in addition to, silent and out loud for user friendliness and eyes open or closed. So, yeah, it's like,
It's
yeah, the real
don't be
deal.
embarrassed. Don't be embarrassed to do it. Like I said, there are these different techniques and ways to do it. If you don't want to say it out loud, like I said, you can whisper it.
Yeah.
You can kind of think it, but you're still going to you. But it's I just have to throw this out one more time. Is that don't knock it till you tried it,
Yes.
right?
Exactly.
That's what he says every day on air.
And don't knock it till you try it. Well, the other thing too is there's no psychiatrist, no therapist or anything like that involved in this. It doesn't cost you anything.
Nothing. No.
That's the
Not-
best part for me. It's free.
Yeah. Yep. And we found that the best tools are free. The best tools are from within. If the hue is the sound that created everything, and as we talked about the Bible and this, that, and the other, the word human, and then we dream every night, even if we don't remember. That's on autopilot. Everyone's had a gut feeling at least once, and everyone's
Yeah.
witnessed a coincidence. So these things are on autopilot 24/7. Dreams, dreams while you're sleeping, and intuition, and signs or coincidence, synchronicity while you're awake. So it's a 24/7 autopilot system that's rocking and rolling for people. So once they kind of have awareness, then you kind of start looking around and paying attention. We just did a show literally before your show, and the host just had a prophetic dream last week that her significant other was going to ask her to marry him, or ask him. He was going to ask her to marry him, and that was 5 days prior, and then voila, he proposed. So the stuff is, again, it's on autopilot for everybody. I always say, regardless of one's faith or lack thereof,
Yeah.
it's
And you don't have to believe. It's interesting. A few years back, we had called NBC and told them about it. We're going to go on. And they said, okay, this would be great. We're going to do a special segment on you. And they sent out an investigative reporter, several reporters actually, and they said, okay, we're going to select the people that you work with for the Hue. And they selected 2 skeptics. I mean, they were skeptical. One of them wanted to reduce cigarettes, had been addicted to cigarettes his whole life, and unable to get down from that pack a day, had stayed there. And somebody else never remembered their dreams. And we went to work with them, and very, very quickly,
In 1 week,
within
1 week's
one
time.
week, the guy started coming down with the cigarettes, and he said, whoa, I am not smoking as much, and I didn't do anything except Hue. And the girl started remembering her dreams, started connecting dots, and started having premonitions, it was like, what? And they didn't believe at the front end, very skeptical. And so that's how it works. And you don't have to believe it. All you have to do is try it.
And
Yeah.
like before we close or whatnot, it's important to say, okay, so why bother? Well, benefits. Okay, and we talked a little bit about benefits of hewing, stress and insomnia and anxiety and anger and rage and suicide, calming down, activating your Jedi Knight powers, this type of thing. But the benefits for like dreams, signs, and intuition are so you don't get blindsided. Some of the stats, Chuck, right now are 81% of online dating profiles are false in some aspect. People are lying, 81% of the people. Okay. And for medical misdiagnosis, 800,000 this year alone in the first 6 months of the USA led to serious injury or death.
Wow.
400,000 females in the first 6 months of 2024 in the USA misdiagnosed with breast cancer. Okay. For elderly, $2.4 billion up from last year in financial scams. Just this year, up 11%. So these tools, they give you an extra edge so you don't get burned or blindsided. You are literally warned ahead of time what's coming so you can make a course correction. And on the rare occasion you cannot make a course correction, you know what's coming, so it softens the blow and you don't get knocked off course.
Yeah, it's we all need that. I'll just call it that knowledge and awareness. So I'm going to remind folks once again to go to nevergetblindsidedagain.com. And this is not a religion, so don't fear not. It is not a religion,
Yeah, we intentionally did not go the way of religion, which is why we just did our educational nonprofit. And what I wanted to say, if they do go to the website, of course there's our do-it-yourself books, and they can email us with questions or what have you. The cool thing, we've got a free mini course on there they can sign up for. And they'll get the one magic word and some info so they can get rocking and rolling. Then it leads right into the Dream Decoder course, Dream Decoding. So they can sign up and get started right away with a free mini course, which is, like within a day, things are going to start shifting with these tools. So, yeah.
I'm going to say, folks, have fun with it. Have fun with it and use this as a tool in your toolbox, as Dr. Nic and Michael Sebastian are saying. It's I'm going to say it's, and sorry, I'm going to simplify and say it's just a word, but a powerful word and sound that works. In fact, it's so powerful, the two of you got tattoos, right?
We sure did. Hey, yes.
Matching hue tattoos.
On A&E Inked. It was the first tattoo show ever. Carrie Hart, Pink, the singer, Pink's husband, Carrie Hart, who's a motorcycle guy, a pro, he had the first tattoo show at the Palms Casino in Vegas. And we came on and we got our hue tattoo. I got mine on my ankle. Michael got his up here. They're identical tattoos. And it was to share the hue because now it's on national television. And everyone in the place was hewing. And the one guy, the one tattoo artist, he said, it helped me do the tattoos. And then it was such a crazy, cool episode that E! Entertainment picked up the episode and they put it on their show called The Soup. The Soup. Their 100th episode commencement. So, which is, here we go. This is really cool, Chuck. And then I know you got to go, so we'll let you go. But we got the hue tattoo, and I had a dream. The dream said the hue tattoo is going to be on 2 TV shows. And I thought, well, how the hell is that going to be? And then 8 months goes forward, and then it's airing on Inked. And then I get a call from a friend, Nicole, it's on E Entertainment, it's on The Soup. So there's your 2 TV shows for the Hue tattoo, because E picked it up from A&E, and the dream showed me 8 months prior it's going to be on 2 TV shows. So yeah, that's
Wow.
that's why we pay attention to the stuff, because you're shown ahead of time the good stuff, the not good stuff. If it's not good, you're able to make a course correction.
There you go.
And it is fun. It's fun. It's like an ongoing game. Gaming is huge. This is your own personal puzzle and game that's ongoing. Very cool.
It's
Yeah.
called your life.
Yeah, exactly. This is your life.
This is.
It's we could go so deep into this because, like you said, doing the Hue is going to either help you realize or remember some of these dreams for you to write down, or possibly help you to dream. But then you could write it down and see, what transpired, what happens. Like I said, if you get in tune with all of that, you could start making these course changes, I would imagine, and directing your life to a better and healthier wellness.
Absolutely. You're just a big love ball. God, you have a really good vibe yourself.
You got a good vibe,
Seriously.
Chuck.
Yeah.
Well, thanks. I feel that vibe, really coming through, because we are at a distance, but hey,
Yeah. But
it's
not really.
Not really.
not really.
Talking physics.
Nope. Yeah. So I thank you very much. Thank you very much. I've really enjoyed this, and I will Hugh.
Right on. And then you're going to email us and tell us about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before we end, I want all of us, the 3 of us, to Hue together. Can we do that?
Please. Yes. That would be fabulous.
I'm ready. Let's do it.
Alrighty. Inhale and Hue.